Alright, what's going on, folks? Today we're going to take a look at some vintage air conditioners in Dalton running on a very hot day. It is about 94 degrees outside right now. It's supposed to get up to about 100 today. So I figured, what the hell, why not? Let's take a look at some vintage air conditioners. Not going to feature any modern ones in this video. We're just taking a look at vintage units today. Unfortunately, there's not that many of them. It's only a few that I do know of, including Centrals that run. We got our little fan here. We're going to do some airflow testing. So let's start off with this 1958 to 1963 General Electric Thin Line Series 1 air conditioner. This one's the one with the visible condenser fan, which you can see right there. So we're going to get set up here. We're going to do an airflow test. So we start off on the compressor side. Nice thing about this, these are just like Chrysler Airtemps. They suck the air in through the front and then they shoot it out the sides. So it cools the compressor and it also cools the condenser. So here we go. So regarding the airflow test here, this one has quite a bit of power to it. Shoots quite a bit of air out both sides. We got about 800 RPM on the right side where the compressor is. And then we got about, I'd say probably close to 1100 RPM on the left side here. So that is a pretty good airflow amount. That shows how much air this thing is moving. And just to give you an example how much is being brought in, we're going to do this part as well. A lot of air being brought in. So that goes to show how powerful this one is. This is a GE Thin Line Series 1. And from what I was told in the Vintage Air Conditioners Facebook group, this is a 1958 to 1963 model. So very, very cool. Very old and it's still in service. Next one is the 1967 Chrysler Airtemp Imperial. Here it is, the 1967 Chrysler Airtemp Imperial air conditioner. First time I got it running this year. Well, actually, this is the second time. We did do a video on this unit earlier. So we're gonna have the look at the fan, sound of the compressor, and then an airflow test. So let's take a look at the fan first. Classic Tecumseh AJ compressor. Sounds absolutely fantastic. Now we're gonna do an airflow test. And that is the 1967 Chrysler Airtemp Imperial. The next one is the 1995 Weather King. Here is the 1995 Weather King, the air conditioner running. It's a hot day. Saw a little paper wasp here who's trying to build his nest. He's like, I'm gonna make my nest here. But I'm sorry, buddy. They won't want you doing that. Very powerful machine. This one's got a Copeland CRK3 0325 PFB reciprocating compressor. 1995. Not as much air coming out of this one as the usuals. That is the 1995 Weather King, the air conditioner. Next up is my 1978 Comfort Air Quiet Master heat controller. Here we got the 1978 Comfort Air Quiet Master running on a hot day. Throwing plenty of heat out the back. It's blowing ice cubes in the cold register. Very, very powerful machine. As I listen to the Tecumseh 8-inch compressor. This one we won't be able to do an airflow test on the condenser because unfortunately how big the unit is, you know, we only got so much breathing space for it. So we're going to do an airflow test on the cold register and show you just how powerful this thing is. Very powerful. Crank it over to high. Next up is the 1971 General Electric Super Thrust air conditioner. Here we got the 1971 General Electric Super Thrust air conditioner. Blowing ice cold already. Just fired it up maybe a couple minutes ago. And it's already got ice cold in seconds. This one's got the GE in-house rotary compressor, which is a pretty good design. General Electric definitely knew what they were doing when it came to designing an efficient rotary compressor for the Super Thrust lineup of air conditioners. They were not a, to put it in simple words, they were not a other brand user of compressors. With pretty much all of their units, excluding the super big ones, they use the GE in-house rotary compressor, which is a very solid design, very reliable, and they'll last for decades. Oil cooler is nice and hot. The air being sucked over helps to cool the oil. Gonna go ahead and do an airflow test on this one. Start off on the suction. Very powerful in the suction, that's for sure. External airflow, we got a decent amount of power. Typical of your Super Thrust air conditioners. Probably needs to be deep cleaned better on the evaporator, but we'll definitely get to that soon. And for now, we're going to showcase the 1965 weather wheeler. See, waits her turn to get work done. It's going to require a little bit of teamwork while working on this bad boy. So unfortunately, the weather wheel remains out of service for now, but I figure we'd show it anyway as she waits her turn to get work done. So that's going to do it for this production of vintage air conditioners running, and we will see you on the next video.